This is Kevin Lux. I'm going to give you a demonstration of the Doepfer MAQ 16x3 analog sequencer. I'm only going to show a few simple things here in this demonstration, but at least you'll get an idea of how open-ended it is for pure experimentation with music and melody and whatever you might want to trigger with the sequencer. Everything is controlled from this panel here. You have your events, channel, and different scale options and different modes, and single step is what I'll demonstrate in just a second. Then you have a memory, a preset memory. When you save a setting of where all the knobs are set, you can save it into a memory slot and recall it. For example, I'm going to be using memory slot 3. So all I would do is hit preset and turn the knob to whichever one I want to use. You have up to 30. I've already created one in 3. Put it there, hit start. Now that preset has been loaded into the memory. A preset is a complete recording of every setting that you may have all the lines set to. You have 3 lines. They can all be set to do different things. For example, event. Depending on what line you're working on, it flashes, as you can see here. If you keep tapping it over and over, it'll move down and alternate between the things, the lines. I'll start by choosing what event I want in each line. This particular one, I'm going to set it so each knob will have a pitch selection, and if I turn it all the way to the right, it will be a pause. So that means I need to go to that code. There's many codes that this alters. Controller values, all kinds of things, timing changes. I'm going to do a very simple thing, however, with this. Here we go. This particular one will be 2 octaves. The knob will be for 2 octaves of pitch, and all the way to the right will be a pause. Now that's the one I want for that line. I press event again. Now I'm working on the next one, and so on. Let me get these set real quick. Okay, I've got them set. The first one will be 2 octaves with a pause. The second line will be a 4 octave range with a pause if I turn the knob all the way to the right, and the bottom line is going to be a 5 octave range with a pause all the way to the right. Next, I want to determine what MIDI channel I want to transmit on. This works the same way. Start pressing the channel button and it toggles between the lines. I'll start at the top. I'm going to put it on channel 1. It already is there. I want to use channel 2 for the second line and channel 3 for the third line. Then there's mode. Same thing. It toggles between all of them. This is the direction the line will go. In this case, I'm going to start out with forward for line 1. Forward for line 2, and forward for line 3. In the actual audio part of the demonstration, you will see me altering all this in real time as the sequencer is playing. That's the real fun part about this, is you can change anything without having to stop the sequencer, and then things can get really crazy, but it can also be very fun for experimentation. For the course of this demonstration, I'm going to use a certain mode for programming the notes that I want the sequencer to play called step mode. What this is that the sequencer will stay on the first slot, and it will go to each slot as I turn the data knob, or any one that I want. The reason being, that way I can adjust the pitch of each one exactly the way I want it, for example. You don't have to do it this way, I'm just doing it this way to show you one of the neat ways to do it. Or the more conventional way is you start the sequencer going, and as it's playing you just adjust the knobs to change the pitch. You will hear all the results of this in just a minute when you do the actual audio demonstration. You'll see, but I'm explaining it so when I'm actually doing it you'll understand what's happening. The thing to remember is the triggering by the sequencer. It doesn't have to be pitch, it can be MIDI controller data. There's a whole variety of things that you can trigger with this. The back has MIDI in, MIDI out, power, and also CV for triggering analog gear with no MIDI implementation. For this demonstration, I'm going to be using one sound source. I'm going to use my Novation synthesizer for the 3 voices that you'll be hearing. The MAQ will be triggering all the musical notes that you'll be hearing. The thing to keep watching on the demonstration is you'll sometimes see lights that don't go on. Those are the pauses that I put in. That's supposed to do that. You'll hear the notes jumping. And I'm going to start from the bottom line and work my way up as far as the sounds. The first sound you will hear will be being triggered by the bottom line, then the middle line, then the top. as we go along. And I'm just going to do all this in real time without stopping the MAQ, so you can see just how flexible the unit is in a live situation. I have a preset already programmed in that I've made with notes set the way that I want on the lines, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and use in the following demonstration.